what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. And you wouldn't believe it, but they've released even more balance changes for Deadlock, as if the last update wasn't enough. Except this, of course, is actually in reaction to our reactions to the update that released on Friday. And yeah, they have changed quite a bit as a result of the immediate meta that followed from the sweeping changes that they did. I still can't get over how many changes they did in what Yoshi literally described as a small balance update. But anyways, I want to go over these changes because they actually did 3 separate patches that all contained some changes. So I'm going to summarize them here so that way you are informed as to what's changed since the update. Oh, and as always, a link to the patch notes will be in the description down below. It's actually the same link as the previous patch notes, you just have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So first of all, they made a lot of changes to try and make gun builds stronger while making spirit builds slightly weaker, but gun was far overtuned after the release of the update, and they've done a couple of things to address this. First of all, gun base damage was reduced by 5%, and this is gun damage early on in the match. This is your base starting damage, not what you get from boons. So just a little bit less lane pressure. But the real big thing that they've done is that they fixed a bug with fall-off calculation that was often causing guns to do much more damage than intended. And they're still monitoring this to do subsequent adjustments, but basically, if you didn't know, they actually made an update that was listed under Doorman's changes, where they changed how fall-off is calculated so that it makes sense whenever you are shooting someone through a Doorman portal. It is now basically correct levels of fall-off. But apparently, this was broken in a way that caused guns to do much more damage than intended, and so that has hopefully been fixed, and that is a very big change indeed. So let's talk about even more general changes. They actually nerfed the medic pack that the medic minion drops. If you didn't know, when you kill a medic minion, it drops a health pack like that now. It used to heal for 10% of your max health, or missing health rather. Now it is 8% of your missing health. And so it's still really strong, but yeah, they decided it was a little too strong on lane, and I think that's a totally fair change. They also reverted the stamina regen nerf that they gave everybody. Everybody was regenerating stamina a quarter of a second slower at the start of the patch, and yeah, it was a pretty universally hated change, so they went back on that basically immediately. Neutral camps also gave 5% more souls now, and this is on top of the bonus that they got at the start of the patch. So these neutral camps now actually give way more souls than they used to. But we're not seeing that much inflation in Deadlock, where everybody's just getting more souls now, because they hit deathballing really hard in the latest hotfix that released yesterday at freaking 12 in the morning. What the heck? So, yeah, hero kill bounty split efficiency. This is how many souls you get when you kill somebody based on how many teammates are in the vicinity. So if there are 2 players in the vicinity, it is still 100% of the soul value. But then everything past that point has been dramatically nerfed. 3 players is still mostly fine. It went from 90 down to 85. But for 4 or more players, it is tough out here. From 84 down to 70 for 4 players, 65 down to 55 for 5 players, and 72, I think that might be a typo, down to 50%. So, yeah, significantly fewer souls for deathballing now. And on top of that, they made a change that I find absolutely fascinating. So, they nerfed Trophy Collector. Yeah, you know that item that, like, I put in D tier on my last tier list, and that most people generally agreed was pretty trash? Apparently, after the update, it was all of a sudden really, really good and really, really broken, which is a news to me, because I played the patch on Friday and there was not a whiff of Trophy Collector in the air. I played on Saturday. Okay, maybe there was Trophy Collector in one of my games. I don't even know. I didn't see it. And then I didn't play it all on Sunday, and Sunday is when the nerf happened. So, I don't know what happened Sunday for a Trophy Collector to become meta and then immediately get nerfed. And then I wake up Monday and I read the new patch notes and what? I think that's just really funny. But apparently it was contributing to a very snowbally, deathbally meta. And so what they've done is they nerfed the souls per minute from 30 down to 22. And they also nerfed the health per stack from 25 down to 20. So significantly nerfed Trophy Collector. They did buff the souls per minute somewhat recently, but I believe this new souls per minute is down below where it was pre-buff, if I recall correctly. So very major change to Trophy Collector, and I'm just going to continue not buying it, to be quite frank. But I guess we'll talk about the only other item change that they've done. A Focus Lens now has a much longer cooldown, from 25 seconds up to 32 seconds, and Spirit Sap also shares this cooldown nerf, so Spirit Sap kind of catching a stray here, but Focus Lens was really powerful after the change, so this is totally fair. Now let's talk about hero balance. There are really two heroes that got changed, and both of them received nerfs. Drifter received a base health nerf from 750 down to 675, and Warden also received a bullet damage growth per boon nerf from 0.53 to 0.47, so yeah, pretty big nerfs there. But if I reset my health here, you'll notice that, well, I don't actually have 675 health, I have 740 health with Drifter. What's going on here? Well, they just buffed everyone's health by 50. Just every hero baseline has 50 more health now, which is an interesting change. I feel like, I guess they decided the early game was too snowbally now, and people were just dying too quick in the early game. So between the gun nerf in the early game, and then the health buff in the early game, yeah, early game should be a little bit slower now. And now, finally, let's talk about Guardians. Guardians received a couple of changes in the recent update, mostly just to make them way tankier. So first of all, their health has been increased from 4,250 to 5,500, a very significant increase. And on top of that, they have armor scaling that was introduced in the last update, where they start out with a ton of armor, but by 10 minutes into the match, they actually take 50% more damage. But they have actually raised the timer from 10 minutes up to 12 minutes. So Guardians will just be a little bit tankier now during the stages of the early game, and at 12 minutes is finally when they will be fully vulnerable to damage. And then finally, Base Guardians. Oh boy, I have to ride all the way back on the zipline for this one. Base Guardians HP has been fixed. It was not matching Lane Guardians, it was actually 1,000 less. And so now you have two 5,500 health Guardians here, as opposed to two 3,250 health Guardians. Wow, that's actually a very major increase to the base Guardians here. And, yeah, it was unintended that they had 1,000 less, so yeah, now they've effectively gone up really high, though. They got a lot more health this update. So if it's taking a longer time to take base Guardians, now you know why. You're not crazy. They got 2,000 more health. But anyways, those are all the changes, and I do find some of them to be quite interesting. I'm still trying to figure out the Trophy Collector nerf. I know I'm definitely missing something, and so I'm sure you guys will inform me in the comments section. I fully admit, did not see that one coming. But, yeah, hopefully Deathball is a little bit less Deathball-y now, and I'm so glad they walked back on that stamina nerf. I'm still holding out for the wall jump nerf being reverted, because I don't like it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. But let me know what you think about these changes in the comments section down below. Make sure to like this video if you found it to be helpful, subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.